Hello, I hope you're having a great day. My name is Zoe. You can also call me Tactician Tactless, that's what I go by online. I'm an artist and I have been selling art since 2021, I believe. I go to anime shows and such, and these are the prints I make for them. I recently got 1,000 followers on Instagram, and I decided to celebrate this. I would make a video talking about it. I also just think it would be fun. When I was younger, I used to watch all sorts of YouTubers do this sort of thing where they show their process and they just chat. And personally, I love having videos on in the background whenever I'm working on any sort of artwork. It's just nice to have voices, voices in the background. So I figured I would give it a shot, and this is the first video I made. This is the electric type print that I made. It did not take me terribly long. I believe it took me probably around 10 to 15 hours to make. Honestly, felt like I sped right through it. I just finished the water print. I don't have a recording of that, unfortunately, but I just finished water print. There's over 100 Pokemon in that one, and that took me 70 hours, so I really zipped through this one. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoy this. If you like it, leave a comment, subscribe, like, all those sorts of things. It's surreal to ask for that, but here I am. So this is Jolteon. I'm sure you've met. Jolteon is just an electric type. Of course it would be in the electric print. This is Toxicity. I'm sure you also know Toxicity. Toxicity is electric poison. Toxicity would end up in the electric print because it is primarily an electric Pokemon with a secondary type that is poison. Joltik, which unfortunately I think of as a pretty iconic electric Pokemon, is a bug Pokemon first, so Joltik wouldn't end up in the electric Pokemon print. Joltik would end up in the bug type print. Whatever the first one is, that's where you can find them. On top of that, there's not going to be any mythical Pokemon, legendary Pokemon, or Gigantamaxed Pokemon. Each of these designations are going to get their own print eventually. Also, no Mega Evolutions or regional variants, same deal. There's no Pokemon after Galar. So, but that doesn't mean I'm not drawing Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. Again, they're gonna have their own print. This is just so I don't have to go back and continually update what is in this print, because then I would never be able to sleep at night. Pokemon is still making more Pokemon. I think there's a game coming out this year. I can't go back and include and scoot around. That's the biggest thing. Scooting around all the Pokemon to make room for the new Pokemon is what would actually put me in an early grave. So those are the rules. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the speed paint. Alright, there's Raichu. I decided I wanted to draw all three of the I wanted to draw Pichu, Pikachu, and Raichu, looking to the side. Not sure why. It's what I did with Pichu, and I like to make the family match. So I made the family match. They're all looking to the side. I guess the, everything next to them is very interesting. Here I am doing some shading. I sure did shade. I added some little hearts in the eyes. Oh, okay. This is Crunchy Dedenne. So Dedenne is a little guy, and I barely know how to do this. Vintage Dedenne here is a little crusty, but that's okay, because it's okay to be a little crusty. I promise. Oh, okay, Jolteon. I think Jolteon had some funny faces. This is when I was trying to figure out what lining brush I wanted to use. And because I usually do this on Procreate. This is like me learning Clip Studio. I learned Clip Studio and also how to make videos at the same time. It was really smart of me. He's sitting. He's sitting in a way, and it's cute, and I like Jolteon. Okay, I don't have many feelings or thoughts. Well, okay, actually. I like the way these guys are designed. I haven't played Gen 5. It's on the list. I will play Gen 5. I unfortunately feel like I should just do a Nuzlocke, right? Because that's the fun version. But I also really struggle to finish Pokemon games, so maybe I don't make it harder for me to finish the Pokemon game. I like these guys. I wanted to put, oh, fuck, I gotta look up their names. It doesn't matter. Forget about them. We're on to the most important electric types. Squares. Which are really just circles. I made them square because I did a Hisui print years and years ago. And I made the Hisui Voltorb and Electrode square, and I liked that, so I did it again. These are the fossil Pokemon from Sword and Shield, I believe. Don't remember their names. I'm gonna have to look up so fucking many names for this. They are little guys. I actually really like how they look, though. I wasn't super sure when I saw their initial, like, design, like, before I drew them. A lot of Pokemon, after I draw them, I start to like them a lot more. It happened with Tepig and his line when I did the Fire Pokemon print a while, like, that was the first one I ever did. So, but I actually like how these two turned out. They had the opportunity to be very angular, and I like angles. Oh, okay, Pill Oricorio, fucking scene for 5 seconds. Love Pill Oricorio, but not enough to keep Pill Oricorio. Oricorio is a cutie pie. I like the way I drew this. Next to Krusty Dedenne, but it's okay because we're focusing on Oricorio, not Dedenne and his crust. I have not very many feelings about Oricorio. I did play Sun and Moon like a decade ago, but okay. This might be my favorite one I drew. It's Mameep. It's Mareep. But Mameep would probably be a good name for him too. This is the mostly I'm focusing on Mareep and the Ampharos family here. But the way that I drew them, they're so like kind of entwined with Shinx and the Shinx family that I had to I basically record the same part twice. Because I cut it so that it's all the I do like the line art, then I do the inking, then I do the coloring, then I do the shading. So you kind of have to watch this twice, but that's okay because Mameep is very cute and I like Mameep, if I do say so myself. I have, so I put Shinx and Mareep together. They're playing. It's a silly reason, but I did it because I like a YouTuber who likes Mareep, and Shinx is one of my favorite Pokemons, or at the very least was my favorite for much of my life. Unfortunately, I played Legends Arceus, and Legends Arceus Shinx is very, very common. And that's so unfortunate for me. Because I got so fucking tired of seeing Shinx. It's okay. I love you, Shinx, even if you're very populous in Arceus. It's been a long time. If I say Arceus in both ways, I'll just baffle people. They won't know if I'm saying it right or wrong. I'm covering both my bases, aren't I? I'm drawing his foot, making it look like a foot. Alright, Luxray. Luxray's pretty fucking cool. I love Luxray. A lot of people like Luxray, apparently. Okay, so this is my patented... There's a bunch of dead space over here, so I'm going to make the tail obscenely long for fun techniques. And I like doing that. It's fun. It's whimsical and shit, and that's all I want. I want whimsy in my art. I'm trying to figure out the eyes. I decided to leave an outline. I probably could have just made them completely yellow, but I didn't. Okay, don't know these guys. Still haven't played Sword and Shield in the last 6 minutes. I haven't played Sword and Shield yet. No, but these guys are really cute. I really, really like them. I did high amp form for toxicity because I choose one form for each Pokemon, because if I did both forms in every print, well, multiple forms for Pokemon that have multiple forms, they would take up a lot of the real estate in the print, and also it would be a lot. Like, if I included the forms for all the Pokemon, it would be a lot. The only reason I do Oricorio is, I believe, because I did Oricorio in the fire Pokemon one, and then I ended up doing the ghost Pokemon one. Also, horses are hard to draw. Here's a bunch of horses I tried to draw for Zebstrika. Yeah, Zebstrika. I am excited for when I am so comfortable with this that all of the names of these Pokemon doesn't flee my mind the second I turn on recording. That will be nice. Um, yeah, there's Zebstrika. I do like how Zebstrika and little baby Zebstrika turned out. Oh, Minun? Okay, I love these two. Okay, so I made Minun laying down, and I made Plusle doing that. Plusle changes, don't get attached. Minun is a minus sign, and Plusle is supposed to be a plus sign, but one of my friends told me that it wasn't clear enough in that pose, which is a little sad. I really liked that pose. But instead, I made T-posing Plusle, which honestly is still pretty good. Love T-posing Plusle. That was a hiccup. I don't know if you've heard that one before, but hiccups, man. Do you ever feel like a Minun laying on the ground? Because I do sometimes. Okay, there's Rotom. Rotom is a Rotom. I like how I drew him. He's kind of big, actually, though, compared to everything else. I try and keep it somewhat within, like, proportional to each other. Oh, okay, we got another crusty guy. This is Krusty Pachirisu. Look at Krusty Pachirisu. He's so pixelated. But he looks a lot better, actually, when I... Yay! Okay. It's okay. You got better. You got skincare. Okay, this is Electrowire, I believe. Don't care about him very much, I'll be honest, but I drew him. That's a guy. Electrowire. His hair is way too close to that foot, but I think I fixed that, so that's a good sign. Yep, fixed it. Okay, cool. And then Electrokid. Elekid. It's Elekid! Yeah, that is what it is. Elekid. It is time to color fill. Yep. They're yellow. And I like yellow, so honestly, this print should be a fucking home run for me. Oh. Oh, this is Tokegamaru. Tokedamaru, yes, Tokedamaru. He's a little crusty, but that's alright. I love him. I'm happy with how I drew him. He is another square. Would get along with Electrode and them. I accidentally did the exact same pose for Emolga for a second as I did with Plusle, but then I changed it. I like Emolga. I think Emolga is very cute. Still, I think he's a Gen 5er. I do like him. He's a little guy. That's a little close to Zebstrika's tail, but you know what? That's okay. Perfection is the enemy of done. Okay, this is Morpeko. I have no feelings about Morpeko. He's a guy. He's kind of cute. Okay, Magnezone, Magneton, and Magnite. These guys. The Diglets of, why didn't Diglett get a third evolution, now that I think about it? Because these are just the electric Diglets, so... What would that even look like, a third evolution for Diglett? I don't know. Oh, this is Yamper. I had a lot of fun drawing Yamper. I think he's a cutie pie. I like Yamper quite a bit. I'm not even really a dog person. Yamper just has a good design, I think. Oh, this is Bulltown. I looked up Italian Greyhounds, I think is what they're called. I looked them up ultimately. So like he's chunky here. He gets skinnier. Yeah, there we go. He gets a little skinnier because I was looking at greyhounds. So, yeah, I struggled a little bit with his body, didn't I? Oh, yep. There we go. Very skinny limbs. Making him fit in the space with the least amount of empty space possible. This is probably another pair that I didn't have many feelings about before I did this art, but afterwards I like him quite a bit. Oh, I hate this guy! Not how I drew him. I think I drew him alright. I think he's pretty cute, but I do not like Electrike. Electrike is a head with legs. He is 90% head and a couple of limbs, and it sucks, and I don't like how it looks. And you know what? That will be the hill I die on. I'll do it. I always avoided him. I never had him on my team when I played Emerald. I just was not a fan. Oh, I have no knowledge about these ones either, unfortunately. But they're interesting looking, and the bigger one, he is a great space filler. I had a huge gap there, and I was like, you know what I can contort into this space? This little guy, I don't know the name of. And this is the overall time lapse. I had already done a few drawings before I started recording, I think. Well, obviously, otherwise that wouldn't be here. I drew, yeah, I mean, so this is everything. This is the order I did it in. I might speed it up a little more, actually. It takes a while. So whenever I do these prints, I try and do the big ones first. So I look up and I organize the Pokemon type into biggest to littlest. And the biggest ones are, well, I do the biggest ones, and then I do like the family around them to see how much space that entire unit will take up typically. And then I move things around. And I get it close enough during this stage. It's also when I figure out my poses and everything. I looked up a lot of horse references for Zebstrika. He's a guy, that's for sure. God. I think I made him too big there. Thankfully, I made him smaller. Oh, okay, there's another Zebstrika because that was like one, I was okay-ish with that drawing, but I decided to give it one more shot. And I ended up liking this drawing a lot more than this little one down there, so it went away. And I stuck with the last drawing I did of Zebstrika. This part, I honestly drew like 10, maybe like 15 Pokemon one day. From from like Electivire to at least Oricorio. Did I also draw? Oh, I think that was my attempt at Manectric, and I said, nah, I'm good. Okay, there's Yamper. And then, so, okay, at this point, I filled up most of the space with my sketch, but I know that it's not going to be exactly like this, so I start doing my line art. And scooching things around and making micro adjustments essentially to see exactly how much space I have to work with for the last few Pokemon. So this is me doing that because I was especially like I focus on the ones that I am most sure about. So I am very sure about where Jolteon's going to be. I'm sure about the Pikachu line and where they're going to be. So I go ahead and work on them. And then I worry about filling it in later. At this point, it looks like Electrode and Voltorb are... Voltorb. He's not Velvet. That sounds terrible. Voltorb and Electrode are still circular, which I could have done that, but I wanted to do the call back to my Hisuian print. That print was second print I ever did. Do not care for it. I don't sell it. I'm gonna just completely redo Hisui once I get to that point, because I don't care for it. Yep. And here I am drawing Flaffy. Also, so I turn the canvas when I'm working on these. So I'm not doing Flaffy upside down. That would take a lot of skill, and I have no desire to do that to myself. So I turned the canvas to the direction I needed it to be, and then I drew it. So I also really like the Ampharos line. I think they're really cute. They're one of those Pokemon that I always wanted to have in my team, but the Pokemon games I played didn't have Ampharos really easily accessible. I didn't play Heart Gold, Soul Silver growing up. I played Platinum. Maybe I should just list all the games I've played. I've played Platinum, I've played Emerald. Emerald is technically, well, okay. I played Pokemon Leaf Green, I played Pokemon Emerald, I played Pokemon Platinum, I played Pokemon X, Pokemon, not Sun, Pokemon Moon, then I played, that's 5. Then what else did I play? Pokemon Moon. And then the Switch came out, and then it was $60 for a Pokemon game, and I couldn't justify the expense, so I didn't. And that's why I never played Sword and Shield. But I did play Scarlet and Violet, because I was older, and I had adult money at that point. More expendable adult money. And I got that one. I also got it because at that point I was doing these prints and I wanted to do research, which is why I don't have a Scarlet and Violet print yet. Maybe I'll do that next. I have that one, like, probably a fourth of it sketched out on my iPad. But yeah, so I've played Pokemon Leaf Green, Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon X, Sun and... I played Moon. I really like, honestly, I think Moon is my favorite one. Well, I have a lot of really fond memories. Platinum and Moon are probably the ones I have the fondest memories of. Yeah, so. But I did play Pokemon Go for a while. I watch a lot of Pokemon YouTubers, so I know a lot of these guys. I'm kind of surprised by how much I know of them all. So, yeah. Okay, here we go. Square, Electrode, and Electros. Drawing Patsuritsu. I love Patsuritsu. I used to watch the Pokemon anime as well when I was a little kid. And Patsuritsu, and Dawn's Patsuritsu is so cute. Always liked that little guy, especially when I was a little kid. And I have fond memories of him still. Out of the Pikachu clones, he's probably one of my favorite. I've always liked Plusle and Minun. I don't have any feelings about Morpeko, but that's also just because I didn't really play Sword and Shield, obviously. So, Morpeko doesn't really do it for me. Neither does Togedemaru. I do like Emolga, though I never played Gen 5. So, yeah. What other Pikachu? I am thinking about doing a print of just Pikachu clones. And that'll be fun. It is something I do want to do as well. I would probably also include... I might include Alolan in that as well. We'll see. That would be like a little square print. So I do ones in this configuration, and I do prints that are square as well. I have a square one that's all the evolutions. I'm quite happy with that one, actually. And can you tell that I love public speaking? Electric still sucks. Toxicity. He's so cool. I love his concept. He's so interesting to me. I just think he's neat. And Toxel is also cute, though it's strange he's the baby Pokemon. I guess he literally has like a diaper. Okay, so this is the part where I am So to make things easier on yourself, you color everything in one color. You color it all in a color that's not going to be very common in your piece. You do that, and then you put a clipping mask over it, and then you color in those spots. It helps. You don't have to do as much cleanup as afterwards to try and make sure that all of the around all the you don't have to clean up the colors around the outline if you do it this way, and that's very nice, and I appreciate not doing that because that can take hours and hours and hours. It took me several years before I really understood what a clipping mask was and how to use it. But I've been doing digital art since I was 13. And I don't know, I just did it my own way for such a long time. And I finally decided to try out the clipping masks. And I really love them. They're very helpful. Definitely recommend it. They seem kind of scary. They're really not so complicated. That was what stopped me a long time from using a clipping mask. It seemed scary complicated, but it's really not. It's pretty straightforward. It looks like I'm done with the flats, and now I am going in and shading. So there is a problem with this. So since this is my first time doing this whole thing, I accidentally exported, no, what happened? I finished rendering, but it didn't record the finished rendering on some of the guys. Like, it doesn't have the rendering for Magnite and his line. It doesn't, that one's not in here. And it doesn't have the background I made for it. I ended up moving onto my iPad to do the background. I just had this like as a PNG, so it was a clear background. And I sent it to my iPad because I knew how to work on my iPad faster. It was just something I was more comfortable with. If I had a stronger iPad, I would do all of this on Procreate. But I don't. I have not the best iPad. Yeah, so this will do most of the rendering, like 80, maybe 90% of it, but then there are a couple that don't get rendered, unfortunately. You're not missing much. I'm just slapping highlights and putting on some shading on some of them. That's it. But please let me know what you guys think about this. This is my first time doing this. I mostly, I mean, I've thought about doing something like this for a long time, but video editing is very frightening to me. It's less frightening now. So that's good. And that's all it takes. You just gotta do it one little step at a time. And this is my first little step. Armstrong did some little steps. It's like that, probably. It does like a little flash at the end. Okay, so this is the finished one. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I did a few drafts, for the background. I had my friends vote on like which one was the best. Maybe I'll show the background process next time. But I'm pretty happy with it. And I was going for like storm clouds and stuff. But anyway, so, that would be, I guess, the end of this. Please, let me know, like, what you think. Yuppers. This is certainly a starting point, eh? Can only go up from here. Goodbye, crusty Dedende.